Hey, I'm Amanda from theintuitivewife.com, spiritual coach and healer working with spiritual entrepreneurs to fall back in love with their business, rock their purpose, and prosper. And today's video is all about the top 3 mistakes that all spiritual entrepreneurs are making. So be sure to keep on watching to find out if you are also making any of these mistakes. Hey, I'm Amanda, and if you are here watching this video, then it means you are either A, not making nearly as much money in your business as you would like to, or B, you have just been spinning your wheels trying to figure out what to do in your business and you just don't know what to do next. Either way, you're in the right place. Or a third option is you are just here to point and laugh because I have also made these mistakes, and that's totally cool too if all you want to do is laugh at me. It's all good. Okay, so the first mistake that every spiritual entrepreneur makes is to check all the boxes. Now, regardless of whether you're a spiritual entrepreneur, you are most likely pretty excited when you decide that it's time to start a business. Probably a little bit nervous and really don't want to fail. But overall, you're pretty excited to get started. And chances are you probably don't really know what to do. You know what you want to do, which is doing what it is that you love and building a business around it, but how do you get started? So you start researching. You're reading the books, you're reading the blogs, you're watching as many videos as you can, and you are absorbing as much as you possibly can to the point where it feels like your head is spinning. You are now overwhelmed. And if it hasn't convinced you to give up yet, then your next logical step that you have done is to go through a checklist. Whether that is a regular, like a physical checklist, or just something in your head, you have now created a list of 300 things that needs to get done before you can actually start your business. The problem with this list, other than the fact that it's like 300 items long, is that you are now completely overwhelmed. You might get a little bit of satisfaction from checking off a few boxes here and there, but overall, it just feels so daunting. And the other problem is that it's really not necessary to have that massive checklist. Of course, you're going to have to do basic things like create a Facebook business page, create an Instagram profile, because people can't buy from you if they don't know that you exist. So obviously, your first step is going to be to get visible. Now, as a spiritual entrepreneur, the problem with this checklist is, now I know I said it's overwhelming, but it starts to feel so heavy. And that translates into just not feeling good. And if we're not feeling good, we're not motivated, we're not energized, we're feeling kind of ick. So we're almost like half-assing it completely unintentionally. But as a spiritual entrepreneur, we have to trust our feelings, trust our gut, go with our intuition. So when things start to feel heavy, that's usually a good sign that it's not something that needs to get done. This heavy feeling usually takes you out of your energized, excited state and pushes you into this weird, almost hustle type of energy. And since we are all energy, if it's not feeling good to us, then that is going to overflow into our business. So definitely boycott as much as you can that ridiculously long checklist. Stick to the bare minimum. Otherwise, you're just going to get overwhelmed and it's going to feel a little ick, and it's going to make this process so much more difficult than it really needs to be. Okay, so let's move on to mistake number 2, which is vibration. I know I just said how we are all energy, and if something feels heavy or icky, then it overflows into our business. That doesn't only apply to the checklist, that literally applies to everything. So if you are waking up today determined to work on your business, but you're really dreading getting out of bed, dreading even just attempting to make any kind of progress, that is a good indication that you are not in a very good vibration, and that is not the vibration you want to be in when you are working on building a spiritual business. Like I said, everything is energy. Not only will you be feeling this quicksand type of feeling, but your potential clients are going to be picking up on that subconsciously as well. So it's really important to be in a really good mental state and a really good vibration to make sure that you are not only creating from a good place, but you're also presenting yourself from a good place. So, for example, if you are doing, let's just say, a Facebook Live, let's say the top 3 things that squash depression, and you're a mental health coach, you're probably not going to want to show up on your live video looking like you are depressed, because then your potential clients are going to be like, well, you look worse than I do. Why would I pay you to make me feel better when I think it's you that actually needs professional help? So it's really, really important to be in a really good place. And it's not easy to do, especially on a regular basis. So you really have to be conscious of what's going on in your life, in your head, and really pull yourself up and get back on to this train of motivation to get you through the day, to keep the wheels turning in your business and to keep building a solid foundation. All right, so let's move into mistake number 3, which is discounting your services and your programs. And I'm also going to say, before I get into my spiel, is that it all depends on where you're coming from with the discounts. If you are coming from a heart-centered place and you just really want to help the other person, then that's completely different. That is not the situation I'm speaking to. What I'm speaking to is when you are discounting your services because you are hoping that it's going to bring in your steady client base. When you discount your services, essentially what you do is tell the universe that you don't believe that you are worthy of receiving this amount, or you don't believe that there is value in your services, your programs, in what it is that you provide. So since everything is energy, if you're not feeling good around this number and you start to bring it down to this number, the universe is like, oh, you don't want this one anymore? All right, okay. We'll start working with this number. And what it does is it starts to bring in people who are at the same lower vibration than they were at maybe this number. So for example, when I first started my business, I, of course, was so excited to get started. I was ready to hit the ground running. I had just graduated. I was a holistic health practitioner. I just wanted to do one-on-one energy healing sessions. And the problem was the clients were not matching my level of excitement because there were no clients. Nobody knew who I was. They didn't understand what I was doing. And I couldn't verbalize how they would benefit from getting Reiki or chakra alignment. So I was already feeling a little bit off, a little bit weird, because if I was talking to someone about Reiki, 9 times out of 10, they would look at me like I had 3 heads. So I was like, great. I'm super excited to be doing this, and I really want to be doing this, and I see the value and the benefit of it, but I don't know how to convince these people that what I'm doing is so beneficial for them, because now I'm feeling like I'm being judged for being a weird person because they don't understand what it is that I do. So the bright idea that I had was to lower my prices. Let's do a promo. And the promo, yes, it did bring in some people, but what happened was those people that it brought in, they would only rebook if I had another promo in the future. So $40 for a Reiki session is really not that much money. So when I would discount it to $25 or $30, the people who wanted to pay $25, $30, they would pay it, but they were not the same people who wanted to pay the $40. So in order to continue getting the clients coming in, I needed to continue to discount my services. Now it's costing the entire city $25 to get Reiki from me. That's not sustainable. That's not the price point I wanted to be at. And that made me start to resent my clients because I'm undercharging them, and it's not their fault that I'm undercharging them. I'm putting off a really weird vibration. So be very, very careful when you are discounting your services, because it's essentially sending not only a message to the universe that you don't deserve to be paid this much, but you're also sending out a really wonky vibration to your potential customers because you're bringing in a different level of customer now. Does that make sense? So money is a vibration, and if you are not going to honor your own services or the value you provide, then money is going to have a really hard time finding its way to you. Because discounting your services discounts your worth, and therefore tells the universe that you're not ready to receive this full price for your services or your programs, and that you don't value your own worth. So if you don't believe that you're worthy of receiving the $40, then you're not going to be receiving the $40. It's really that simple. And speaking of money and being worthy of receiving, I am hosting a powerful 6-week group program, and it's starting in just a few weeks. You're tired of hustling and not making money through your business. You're exhausted and finally want to start earning money for doing things that you love. So book a call with me and let's talk about what shifts you need to make in order to start making that happen. And it's probably best to book that call before you become a burnt out mess, because I've been there and I know that it's not fun at all. If you're already a burnt out mess, that's totally fine. We can still talk about what shifts you need to make. Click on the link in the description box of this video so that we can talk about the shifts that need to be made in order for you to start attracting your dream clients who value your worth just as much as you do. I hope you enjoyed this video. My name is Amanda from The Intuitive Wife, and on this channel I talk about all things metaphysical, woo-woo, spiritual, business, you name it. So if that's something that you enjoy, be sure to be following me on all social media platforms at The Intuitive Wife, and I will see you guys in my next video.